Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Melissa joining me. Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone.
Hey guys, we have an exciting success story. This video is if you are being ghosted, this video is for you. We're going to help you to be able to get back into communication, give you some tips and tricks and constant communication. So Melissa's going to share a success story that one of her clients got after listening to her intention track, how to manifest communication, attention, and affection from anybody. Link is in the description below. So it's one of Melissa's clients as well. So she's going to share the success story, and then we're going to give you some pointers and tips on how you can create this in your realities. So, and before we dive into it, guys, you know, we do have a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. Link is in the description for that as well. Definitely check it out. It's an amazing course. I made it. People are getting lots of success from it. So I'm really happy to see that people are manifesting the life of their dreams by using that course and being able to build a great mental diet with it. So yes, enough about that. I'm so excited for this success story.
Yeah, so this was a fun one. So this client, like Amanda said, got my intention bundle for communication, attention, and affection. And they started using those affirmations in their mental diet daily. And they ended up hearing from a friend they hadn't talked to in many years. And now this friend is constantly communicating with them to the point that they're kind of getting a little bit annoyed with it. So it works. If you change your story, it will show up differently in your physical reality. So it was a fun little manifestation and just further proof that changing your thoughts, changing your assumptions about who communicates with you, about how they communicate with you, about how much they communicate with you, about, you know, why you're getting communication from people. It's going to change how people show up for you and how they communicate with you.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing. I remember you saying that your client, they went from being ghosted to like having them comment on their social media posts and to like messaging with them constantly. I think one of the big things with changing your story is identifying what your old story is and then taking the time to identify what do you want the new story to be? What are you going to see, hear, and feel? Are they going to be commenting on your posts, liking your posts, hearting your posts? Are they going to be sending you messages? Are they going to be calling you? Are they going to be, texting you? Like, what are your conversations going to look like? Like, I remember with Andrew, one day I was intending that he would just call me for no reason. And I just threw it out there and I had no resistance to it or anything, right? Like I just had half a thought about it and I thought that would be fun. I was driving down the road and he called me and I answered it and I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, oh, nothing. I said, why'd you call? He's like, oh, no reason. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course, right? Like everyone's you pushed out, right? Like it's just a matter of taking your old story, whatever all the reasons and your assumptions of why they're not calling you, and change them to be in line with them calling you, texting you, and showing up for you, right?
Yeah, and if you're not sure what those reasons are, ask yourself, why do I think I haven't heard from them yet? What do I think they're thinking about me? What do I think they think about when, talking to me? Do I think they want to talk to me? So do I think they want to talk to me, but they're afraid to reach out? Start to dig in there and just start affirming for what you want. They talk to me all the time. They're constantly messaging me. They're always finding excuses to reach out to me. Just start to change what you're deciding is true about that person and the way that they communicate with you.
Exactly. And if you don't want to be ghosted, then don't ever give the lack of communication the meaning that they're ghosting you. Like just, right. If you haven't heard from somebody, never say, oh, they're ghosting me. I mean, as soon as you say that and give the lack of what you're seeing in your 3D there, then it becomes that. Funny story, one time there was this guy and I was dating him and something happened and I got mad at him and told him I never wanted to talk to him again. And then I was like down the road, I was like, oh, I was intending he would message me and I was trying to like prove, that I could manifest the text, right? And this was like way back years ago. And he wouldn't text me, didn't text me. And I knew he had my number. And then finally one day I was like, well, no, he does want to talk to me. I know he does want to talk to me, right? So then I just was like, okay, forget it. I just texted him. And the funny thing is I was like, hey, how are you? He's like, I'm so happy to hear from you. And I was like, oh, why? He's like, I'm like, well, why didn't you text if you want to talk to me? He's like, well, because you told me never to talk to you again. And then I had totally forgot that I had said that, totally forgot that that's how like it ended. Right. And I was like, okay. So, the thing is, right, is, even if you don't know what the reason is, right? Like, take all your past, like whatever you think may be there. But the important thing is to change all that into what's happening. So I could have easily had him text me had I been like, okay, even though I said he'll never, even if, no matter what I say to him, he'll always text me. But I actually didn't intend that. I didn't revise any of that fight that we had that ended our communication. So if there was something like that had happened, you do need to revise that. But because I said, no, he wants to talk to me, I know he was. If I reach out, he's going to talk to me. And sure enough, because I reached out, he did. He was just being respectful of giving me my distance that I asked for, right? So, so you don't have to always be the one to reach out. But if you have had some sort of altercation go on, you do need to revise that. You know what I mean? Depending on the type of person you've created them to be. I happen to create him to be a very respectful person that wouldn't, go over the boundaries if I asked for something and then he would do it. But I've also manifested and created and had assumptions of other people that it doesn't matter what I say, they'll just text me anyway. So you really want to take a look at the assumptions that you've created, but most importantly, you want to change any of the ones that are not in line with your end goal of communication and really start focusing on that communication as well, right?
Yeah, and you brought up a good point, about reaching out to this specific person. A lot of people, I hear this a lot from clients, they're in no contact with somebody or they think they're being ghosted and they're like, well, should I reach out? I want to, I don't know, I'm nervous or whatever. Here's the thing. Whatever you think they're going to think when you reach out, that's what you're going to get back. So if you reach out with the assumption that they don't want to talk to me, they're not going to write back, or they're only going to write back one word, or maybe they'll write back in 4 days, or they're going to be mean, that's what you're going to get back from them as feedback. And then for some people that can create a spiral because you're constantly reacting to the thing that you're seeing that you don't like. If you come at it from the intention of, I'm going to reach out because I know they want to talk to me and they love hearing from me. I'm going to hear from them whenever they get a minute to write me back, or they're going to call me, and just know that you get what you make it mean. So you come at it from that perspective, you're going to experience that version of them. And one other question I wanted to address, I saw this in the YouTube comments the other day. Lots of people are worried that, well, how am I going to get back into contact with somebody? They don't have my number anymore. I changed it. How are they going to find me? It's 2023, guys. There's so many ways for people to find people. There's all kinds of social media. They could find your number from a friend of a friend. They could send you a letter in the mail. They could email you. I mean, there's a million ways that they could get in touch with you. You could run into them in person. You could run into a family member who tells them they ran into you and gives them your contact info. So don't worry about the how. Just know that you're in contact again.
Exactly. It'll find its way through. I've had people that I've thought about and they found me on Facebook and didn't have my number, hadn't talked to them since high school, and boom, there they were, so if they know your name, they can find you. It is 2023, right? And besides that, even if it wasn't, the universe will always find a way to make it happen because your thoughts have to manifest in your reality. So one thing that I would like to put out there, because I know some people are saying, well, I want to manifest the text. I don't want to text them first. Okay. So guys, one thing to understand when it comes to manifesting communication from somebody is you can't have a rejection bubble around you. You can't be coming from, oh, that's it. They need to text me first to prove that they want to be with me. And I'm going to feel rejected until they actually reach out to me, because where that's coming from is that you feel rejected, and nobody's going to take you out of that except for you. You've got to shift yourself into the state of, look at, you know what, this person does want to talk to me. I could easily message them and they would message me, right? Like, you've got to bring yourself to that point where you're comfortable texting them. And besides, what's the difference of you texting them first or them texting you first? I mean, it's not about who texts who first. It's about getting in constant communication, right? It's about getting to your end goal. But most of the time when people want that text first, it's because they're coming from the state of rejection, saying, okay, I need this to feel, I'm not going to text first because I'm scared of being rejected. Well, right there, you're not going to get the text in because you've got this force field of rejection around you. So rejection has to happen. And if you're in that state, I do not recommend to text. Do not text them. Do not, because you are just going to get rejection back. And if you're already in that state, it's probably going to make it worse. You've got to talk yourself into the story and the assumption that this person actually wants to talk to you. So like in my situation, I didn't have that force field of rejection. Sure, the text wasn't coming in because I didn't revise the past fight, but then I wasn't scared to go, well, I know he wants to talk to me, and just send the text. And then we got back into communication and it was constant. I wasn't scared of texting him and being rejected because I was like, no, actually I was even confused why he wasn't texting me because I know he wanted to talk to me, but I forgot that I created him to be this person that respects my wishes. So, our thoughts have to work in between all of our beliefs and assumptions about people and things in our reality, right? So, I'm not saying send out the first text, but I am saying you have to be in that state. Like, when your mother, your brother, or someone you're on good terms with, your best friend, you think about them, they text you. That's because you're not sitting there with a force field of rejection around you, scared to text them. You would totally pick up the phone and call them. That's why you just need to think of them and boom, they're there, right?
Right. You're not making it mean that because you haven't heard from them, that means they don't want to talk to you. You have to get that message first to prove to yourself that they really do want to talk to you again. But it has to be the other way around. It has to come from you first. You have to decide what's true about them and how they think of you and what they want to do as far as communication. And then you get the evidence in your 3-day.
Exactly. So change the story, change the story. And, we're not saying, look for blocks or think you have a block, right? But, start with, how are you feeling? The first question would be would you pick up the phone and call them? And if your answer is no to that, then start there. You need to change that story. You need to change whatever feelings of rejection, anxiety you're having. So that's how I do it. Would I pick up the phone and call the person? No. Why am I scared? Why am I scared to do that? Well, I'm scared of rejection. Oh, okay. Let's explore that a little bit more. Let's change that story, because our thoughts will create our emotions. And if our thoughts are creating the feeling of us, having anxiety about doing something, we need to review what thoughts are going through our head and change them to thoughts that are making us feel good about the situation, right? So it may take a little bit of work, but again, everything's instant. If something, and you know what, some of you guys, it may be as simple as I'm being ghosted, and then that's what's causing it. And you could just say, no, they always talk to me, and then boom, you're going to get communication. Some of you guys may have a little bit more of a deep-rooted story that needs to be revised. Some of you guys, well, all of you guys just need to stay on a mental diet, and not make the assumption that someone's ghosting you. Everyone's you pushed out. If you don't want to be ghosted, never accuse some of that. If you never want to be disrespected, never say someone's disrespecting you. If you
don't want to be rejected, don't assume somebody's rejecting you.
Exactly. Because it all starts with you. There's no one to change but self, but that doesn't mean that you need to change who you are. It mostly means you need to change what your assumptions are about the people that you're interacting with in your reality, and then not make what shows up, take it personally and make it mean something about you. If, for instance, Andrew's at work and he doesn't text me all day, I don't automatically take it personally and think I'm not good enough and he doesn't love me. I'm like, oh, he's just busy at work. It's about not taking it personally. And then, okay, why isn't he texting me? Because I think he's busy at work. Okay, well, I intend he gets a lunch break and he calls me. You know what I mean? So just observe it. Don't take it personally, because once you take it personally, then you've got to work on your self-concept, because when you take it personally, you're making it mean something bad about yourself, but it isn't. It's just merely your thoughts being pushed out, right?
Yeah, and something that helps, I've seen this with clients with communication, is, so first, you think you're being ghosted, you don't hear from somebody, you're making it mean that. So the first thing you can do is just decide, oh no, I'm never ghosted, I'm going to hear from them soon. If that is not good enough and you still have that nagging feeling and that voice in your head saying they're never going to text you again, you're being ghosted, they don't want to talk to you, stop right there and try to make a story in your head about why they haven't reached out yet. No, they're just busy. No, they're just charging their phone. They just got, they're doing something else. Their phone's not even in the same room as them. I know I'm going to hear from them as soon as they can, as soon as they're available, as soon as they have a minute. Oh, they're just trying to figure out what they're going to say back to me. I mean, it could be a million different reasons. You get to decide it. That's the beauty of it. So if you need to give yourself a reason for why somebody's not writing you back yet, and that is what makes you feel better and helps you stick with your new story that you're not being ghosted, do it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know, exactly. Catch yourself in those moments, you know, and every time you think about it, you know, like you want someone to text you, you want to talk to them, you know, just say to yourself, isn't it wonderful that we talk all the time? Isn't it wonderful that they want to talk to me? I'm a great person. Why wouldn't they want to talk to me? You know, they're always wanting to talk to me. They're always
Everybody
commenting.
wants to talk to me all the time. It's so annoying. Like, give me a break, guys.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. I know this video is going to help so many people. I intend everybody like comments that, oh my goodness, I'm back in constant communication.
Yeah.
I'm
And here's
never going to be ghosted.
a little affirmation for those of you that may be feeling like you're ghosted right now. Just something that kind of is all encompassing is the SP talks to me all the time because they know it's safe to reach out, and I always respond back. You know, start to tell yourself that story. There's nothing blocking them from communicating with you, and there's nothing blocking them from thinking that they want to talk to you and reaching out right now.
Exactly. 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 I intend that happens. I intend everybody reaches out to everybody. I intend everybody's getting what they want right now in this minute.
Right now.
So.
Right now. In fact,
Exactly.
while you're watching this video, your SP is texting you.
Yes. They're going to get a text immediately. You know, we should have said that in the beginning of the video, that they're going to text before the end of the video.
Yeah, for those of you that get communication from an SP from a specific person while you're watching this video, throw the comment below in the YouTube comments, because that will totally motivate somebody else, you know?
Exactly, exactly. So amazing. So amazing. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you, Amanda.
And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we wish you all the best, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.